So welcome to all of you from me as well. Thank you all for coming. My name is Grant Gibson and I'm a lecturer in dementia studies here at Stirling. I'm a member of the dementia studies teaching team. Most of my research work tends to focus on assistive technology, but unlike a lot of assistive technology work, I'm interested in how people with dementia actually experience and use assistive technology from the perspective of their own practice. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is some ideas. It stems from some work I was carrying out before I actually came here to Stirling, and some work I want to develop in the future around looking at how people with dementia actually use assistive technology themselves from the point of view of their own practice. And I'm going to introduce you to what I hope will become quite an influential term. It's a French term called bricolage, which I'll explain to you as we get there, but I think it's a really interesting concept that really helps us to understand how use of technology in practice takes place and how we can actually take advantage of this use in practice in future care services. So, just to give you a little bit of background, I'm sure many of you won't be familiar with terms such as assistive technology. Many of you may have heard of things like telecare, community alarm services. We tend to bundle all these together in the concept and the term of assistive technology, but it's basically devices that are designed to help, in this case, people with dementia. It can be people with a range of conditions or illnesses, to live their everyday lives, to carry out activities of day-to-day living, or to look after them in terms of things like safety and security. And at the moment, we're arguably seeing a situation in the UK where assistive technology is being mainstreamed. Over the last 10 years, there's been an awful lot of political attention given to the role that assistive technologies and telecare can play in the care of people with dementia. And we're now at a stage where we're starting to see them rolled out at quite a large scale across health and social care services, particularly across social care services. And this rollout has been based on a number of assumptions, including the fact that assistive technology can help to reduce things like caregiver burden. It can help sustain cognitive and functional abilities, so it can help people in terms of their memory. More often, it can help people carry on with activities of daily living. It can encourage aging in place. Generally, what we mean by this is it can help people stay in their own homes for longer. It can help delay entry into residential and nursing care. And one of the biggest issues is that it's believed or it's assumed to be able to lead to significant efficiencies and significant cost-effectiveness savings. Now, many of these are assumptions. For many of them, we don't necessarily have the evidence to back that up. In some cases, research that's actually looked at issues around cost-effectiveness has actually challenge this assumption that assistive technology is cost effective. However, we're still seeing a lot of research taking place in this area, and some might say despite this evidence, it appears that assistive technology is still being rolled out. But I think a crucial issue that I'd argue is that actually it's one of these issues that actually affects how we deliver these services, which is that we don't really know that much about how people with dementia and their carers are actually using assistive technology in terms of their everyday lives and their everyday practice. So this sort of crucial question of, well, what do people actually need to do to make this stuff work for them, and to work for them in the ways they want it to? Because working for them in the ways they want it to may well be very different to how we as researchers or we as practitioners or service deliverers might assume or want it to work ourselves. So for me, this is a really crucial question that we need to unpick if we're going to roll out assistive technology any further. So, to report on this, this was actually before I came here to Stirling, but I was involved in a research project with people at Newcastle University where we looked at this question. We looked at, well, actually, how do people with dementia use assistive technology? We carried out a total of 39 qualitative interviews with people with dementia and their carers, so you can see the breakdown here. We carried out a qualitative, a thematic analysis of the data. We spent quite a lot of time looking at this data and how people were using the technology and what the data was telling us about the ways people used it. And we came up with three sort of core themes. The first was around experiences of using technology, and then the core theme I want to talk to you about today is this idea of bricolage. And I'll come on to bricolage in a minute. I think as I present this, we'll also talk about finally what were the challenges to this idea of bricolage and the bricolage-based usability. I promise the term bricolage, it's quite actually a simple term, it will come clear in a moment. So, when we talk about this idea of bricolage, what do we mean? It's used a lot in things like computing sciences, it's also gone a lot within philosophy. And Greenhouse talks about bricolage as the non-conventional use of tools or methods designed and intended for different use to address local and immediate needs. A more simple explanation of this would be making do with what's at hand. An even more simple explanation of what bricolage is hacking or bodging or just fiddling about with things. I think what comes to the core of bricolage is this idea of taking objects or devices and using them in new ways, using them in often very innovative ways that work for you and that are very individualized or personalized for you. So a few examples of bricolage, I'll show you some more concrete examples of what people are actually doing in our research. But some examples of bricolage include using devices for different purposes than their original design, combining assistive technologies with everyday technologies to make sort of different care arrangements, using everyday technologies to complement, or in many cases actually to replicate ATs, often in ways that people preferred and people were more able to adapt to their individual circumstances. And the final thing was adapting devices on the fly to meet the person's needs, and importantly in dementia, as the person's needs developed and changed over time. I think this is one of the key problems with a lot of technologies is as a person's dementia advances and progresses, their needs and abilities may well change. And people have to think about, well, actually, how they get technologies to change to work better for them as the dementia progresses. So, just to show you a couple of brief examples of what people actually did in terms of bricolage in practice. I'll just go through the first one first, because this was one of my favourite actual bits of evidence I've ever discovered in research, and this is a plastic chicken. It's a movement sensor. It's got a little PIR sensor in the bottom of it, a little sort of grey circle, which can detect if you move past it. And if you do move past it, it crows. It sort of sounds cock-a-doodle-doo. And the person that we spoke to was using this as a door sensor. It was put on a shelf by the front door, and the sensor crowed whenever the person with dementia approached the front door. The carer could then sort of leap up and go and see what his wife was doing, where she was going, what she wanted to do. But the interesting thing in this case was that the carer who installed it, installs the wrong word really, just put it on a shelf, as opposed to actually having to fix it to a door, preferred this and found it more personable and worked better for him than the kind of the formal door sensors that are part of telecare systems. And we have the same sort of thing with the second picture. This is just a simple webcam. And the interesting thing, we saw this in a couple of cases where people who've been either offered or asked for telecare services and not got them for whatever reason, had decided to actually make their own telecare services using things like webcams, routers, mobile phones. We had one person who was able to look at the picture on the webcam on his mobile phone wherever he was. And this is a sort of a setup or a putting together of technologies that isn't actually available within telecare services, but was preferred for him. So he found a way to combine everyday off-the-shelf devices and make them work in a way that was much better for him. Now, there are some pretty significant ethical concerns about actually using video clips to monitor people, whether that's by a carer or by an agency. But for him, the ethical concerns were, if you like, overridden by the practical concerns. And in addition, there's this sense, well, the genie's out of the bottle, the technology's out there, I'm going to use it in ways which work for me. However, we recognised a number of what I define as challenges to bricolage. And I think one of the key challenges was in terms of how formal AT services are actually set up and operate. Typically, the formal AT services, the telecare alarms, the pendant alarms were all what we call closed systems. They offered very few opportunities to be adapted, to be changed, how they work, or people struggled to find ways that made it work better for them. There'd be different sort of arrangements that they could put in place, but it was generally very difficult to do that. We also found that there was a general lack of support for carers to act as what we call bricoleurs. So the bricolage role predominantly fell onto the carers, but they often lacked knowledge, information, support in how to better adapt technology to their needs. Trial and error is a key feature of bricolage, but there are things that could be done to help a person figure out ways to use technology, which in practice just weren't out there. And I suppose as an extension of this, we found there was a general lack of wider information about the range of technologies that were out there, whether it's assistive technology or everyday technology to support its use. So people were kind of doing this on their own with very little support and having to figure things out for themselves as individuals. So just to conclude, yep, great, I'm on time, just about. I personally feel, and I'm working on this idea, because I feel bricolage provides us with a very useful idea and a useful tool to explore the everyday use of assistive technology in practice, and some of the arrangements that take place in order to make assistive technology work or not work. But as I've mentioned personally, and some of the research evidence we've collected in the past sort of suggests that current assistive technology products and services don't really enable this bricolage sense of use. So I think one interesting area I'm hoping to pursue in the future is this idea of, well, actually, how do we make services more able to encourage people with